Hello and welcome to Game of Stools presented by Barstool Sports and My Mom's Basement. It is Robbie Fox back again with KFC and Nick Hamilton. Clem will be joining in just a few minutes. He was a bit behind on the episode. KFC, I see the costume has finally arrived.
Just in time for like 2 more episodes. I'm team black and red. I got some dragons on my chest. I got my I'm a knight. Let's go. I finally can join the gang.
Is that actual chain now?
What's that? No, but it looks pretty cool, right?
Yeah, no, it looks legit.
If I had actual email on that would be fucking insane.
When we started this 2 years ago, I did look up how much like the full suit of armor is, and it's surprisingly very cheap.
Don't tell me that. I'll have this in my house.
Dude, I'll send you the link.
Oh, it's like I'm gonna be in a full coat of armor by next week.
Like I thought about it for my own house. I was like, I can afford it. It's
What did we think of tonight's episode? Last week, we obviously had a bit of a slower politicking episode. This week, it wasn't like an action-packed episode, but I felt like it was a rebound. Things were revving up a lot more.
I thought this was a great episode. I think there were great moments in this episode. I think there were moments that were terrible in this episode. I hated, and not for not that there's anything wrong with it. But the Rhaenyra Maylis, Rhaenyra May, what's her name?
The White Worm.
Turning that into fucking a romance thing is so in this. I mean, is it in the book? I don't know. If that's what happens in the book. You got to go with the book. But that does not need to be a lesbian romance in this fucking show right now. If that's the story, that's the story. I got no problem with it, I guess. But that feels to me like it was just forced. And like, why does that happen? Like, why? She's such a fucking badass. Like, when she's like, we're going to win this war through the people. Like, there's more than one way to win a war. And she's got her little birds and she's fucking starting the revolution from the inside out, winning the war that way. And listen, I mean, as a red-blooded American man, I will watch those two go at it all day long. But just totally unnecessary. But I love the tactics from the White Worm. Finally, we see, I mean, it was in the beginning, Corliss's bastards were kind of, or the Sea Snake's bastards were kind of like, where are we going with this? Obviously, it's, all pointing towards a new Dragon Rider. So those moments I loved. The ending moment, I just think that's totally unnecessary. Unless that's what George, that furry fuck, wrote, then I'll ride with it. But I don't know. That does not for me.
It was very, very out of left field, I believe.
That's what I mean. Like I even in their interactions, I always thought of it as this like respect, and they have this, they both have this thing with Daemon, and they both come from different backgrounds, but they both are, trying to achieve the same thing, and now we're gonna like work together and be like this power duo, and then it's like, oh no, we're just gonna make you make out because everything needs some sort of progressive, like, gay love interest in the world today. But again, if that's part of the actual story, I always ride for George, but I don't know.
Chat's saying it's not part of the book.
I mean, it can't be because it makes no fucking sense. Like, like George would never do that because it's stupid.
I believe we've got Clem on the line. Can we add Clem to the call?
Yeah, let's get his thoughts.
What are we talking about right now, fellas? We're going to complain about two beautiful women potentially getting onto the show.
Listen, like I said,
we haven't had Thrones, right?
Yeah, listen, that's always a big part of TVMA, that SSC, that strong sexual content. Speaking of sexual content, you got it going on, big boy. Let's see.
It's special when the top comes off. The top doesn't come off.
When you popped up backstage, I was trying my hardest, Kev. You were like going on. I was trying just not to laugh.
Oh my god,
so
that's
good.
An all-timer.
This might be my favorite, and I say that really like almost every single week, but this might be my favorite.
Clem, what do you think of the episode?
I don't know how everyone else feels. I liked it. I feel like I just wanted to get the pieces in place for the penultimate next week, which, as we know in Thrones, is always the fucking banger. And I didn't feel like we were there after last week's setup episode. And it is just weird that we're in penultimate territory already. And I mean, that last like again, the chicks making out thing wasn't the thing. It was like, oh yeah, but obviously the dragons were getting some stuff cooking. The town, the common folk rising up in King's Landing. I'm like, all right, we could have some shit going down next week. So I'm very excited. It felt Weasel fuck Clubfoot is fucking stirring his little fucking toe around and stuff. We have some shit about to cook here. So I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Like pressure. We're building towards a fever pitch for sure. Where, you know, we first of all, shout out to my guy who he was one step away and then he got greedy and thought he had that snake. He thought he had sea smoke tamed and then he got fucking flamed. That scene where the dragon like teacher guy knows to slit his throat because he's on fire. Sick, dude. I thought somebody else should have put Sir Darklin out of his misery. Like grab a bow or something, just letting him sit there and burn.
They all just walk away like, oh fuck.
So that was very Roman from Succession. Like when the rocket explodes and he just turns the thing off. Like they were just like, well, that didn't work. I'm going to go into the bushes Homer Simpson style.
I hope the internet is at a place because, you know, it's got a little softer over the years, the internet. I hope we can still use that dude on fire slitting his throat as a meme for when your team blows a fucking
I'll tell you this right now. Tomorrow, when the Mets blow the lead in the 7th inning, I'm just going to tweet me.
Elite meme. It's so great when you know. You're like, oh, that's a great meme coming up right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I thought that was all great. I thought, you know, if people are complaining, I don't know. I don't even check like the temperature anymore of like what did everybody else think. I just kind of go by my own thoughts on it. Aside from the chick kissing, which is truly, genuinely, we're talking so out of place. I'm putting it up there with Landry murdering a rapist in Friday Night Lights. I'm putting it up there with Kim Bauer fighting a cougar for half of season 4 of 24 or whatever that was. You know, the all-time bad storylines that just are like, why is this show going this direction? Nikki and Paolo and Lost. It's just some really bad ones. Like that to me, if we're going to waste, you know, we only got 2 more episodes and we're going to waste, you know, how many precious minutes. I'm an older man, by the way. You know, if I was, you know, 22, I'd be like, yeah, let's go. Chicks making out. yeah, fucking metal. But I don't need it. Just doesn't make any sense, man. So everything else, though, which one is it? Was it Aaron or Adam that's going to get the dragon there?
Adam, I believe.
Adam the Hall or whatever. Like, like you don't choose the dragon chooses you. Is like
that was sick.
Shit. Yeah. Like he's like, I just want to fucking build this fucking ship. I don't even want to talk to my dad. I'm gonna be a dragon rider. Holy shit,
Kevin. Let me just say this for the people that are calling. If anyone's calling you soft about your take on this, we spent, you know, me, you, and as you say, the greatest generation, the people that came of age as the internet was going about. We spent a good chunk of our early teenage years acting as lesbians in chat rooms to other people who were acting as lesbians in chat rooms. That's just the way we fucking roll back. There's nothing that brings me more pleasure than to see this on my TV at Sunday night and be like, oh, that's really happening in fucking Thrones world in Westeros. However, it does feel like, let's just blame Kathleen Kennedy. This was a Kathleen Kennedy note. This is a Star Wars thing. You know, go woke, go broke, whatever the fuck everyone says these days.
There's a strong chance that Clem, you know, you and I were chatting with each other as
we might have had lesbian sex together at some point.
Yeah, we had lesbian cyber sex. ASL, 16, female, California, and me and you were doing it. And yeah, I mean, listen, that's the other thing too. You came up in my generation. You grow up on lesbian porn and then you graduate and you need some penis in your porn. So 2 chicks kissing, I don't know. It doesn't rev my engine anymore, fellas. Especially when I
haven't even started getting into the episode yet, and we have gone off the rails.
Demonetized.
I'm waiting for the TikTok demonetized to pop up.
That's instantly. Let's get into it. It began with the Lannisters marching through the Riverlands to Harrenhal. They want to send a raven back to Aemond and be like, hey, we'll continue when you join us with your dragon, which is a ballsy move for the interim king. And he's pissed about it. He yells at everyone in the council, like, they have the balls to summon me. And he wants Tyland to go make an alliance with the Triarchy. Everyone else is like, are you fucking crazy? Those people are crazy. Like, we want nothing to do with those people, essentially. They just want to force Daemon to have to fight on 2 fronts. And then Aemon just has his mom stay after class to tell her, thanks, but no thanks. We don't need your services here anymore.
That to me was like, out of all the shit he's done, flame the king, you know, all his badass shit, being like, hey mom, we don't need you anymore. And like the way he did it, remind me, what would you say you do here? You know, like, holy shit. And her being like, have I not done enough yet? Jesus Christ. See, that to me, that's a scene right there. And I don't think a lot of casual people who are waiting for tits and makeouts and dragons think highly of that scene. I thought that was incredible. I thought that was one of the best, you know, bits of dialogue ever in Thrones. Him being like, "You gone, bitch." So that stuff to me matters a lot.
She's like, I had to rule this kingdom and then ride your dad's raggedy ass bones, basically, for the last few years of his life, and fucking keep it all together, and then pop you assholes out of me, and you know, basically like betray my best friend and ruin a lifetime of friendship right there.
Honestly, so, you know when you like in the movies when parents are like, I wiped your ass, you know, you got to show me respect. Like, these mothers have gone through a fucking lot for these kids. I was thinking to myself, I said, if I'm Allison, I'd be like, goodbye. I'm going to go to fucking the far reaches of Dorne, sit on the beach, drink some shade of the evening every night, and I'm fucking done with this whole family. Like, this whole family's, I'm done with your civil war. So I would be like relieved, but I mean, I know it's like, you know, you gave your whole life for this, and now it's being plucked away from your psychotic son. But I think I'd be like, weight off my shoulders. You do it. If you're so good at it, let's see how you do.
Yeah, I love the Aemond basically did the Omar, my name is my name, where he's like, he's beckoning me to send my dragon there. Like, go fuck yourself. I will say this too. I see the Lannister flag and I'm like, fuck you. I thought it was the dude who's on the small council. I'm like, is he fighting now? Because they look very similar. But when you heard like the hints of the Reigns of Castamere, I'm like, that song still bangs. That was like the most gutting moment of my life watching TV, and I'm still like, that shit is a fucking great song. So shout out to Reigns of Castamere.
Yeah, that's his twin, right? The one that's riding.
That's right. Yeah, I think it's.
I was gonna say, do we have two sets of twins in this fucking show? They couldn't get any more confusing with it. It's crazy.
So this guy, it's also like it's the same guy. I'm pretty sure playing twins, and on top of it, he's played somebody in the original Game of Thrones.
Like, oh my
God,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
the man has many faces.
Yeah, it's crazy. But
I'm rewatching Thrones while I'm doing this, and I just finished the Battle of Blackwater Bay. So like, I finished with Tywin walking in, being like, "The battle is over, we have won," and then like right into Lannisters from hundreds of years ago. I am fully in Thrones world right now.
So Corlys has accepted his role. He's taken his place as the Hand of the Queen. And this is when they bring in Sir Steffan Darklyn. And they're like, hey, basically, do you want a dragon? We got a dragon to offer up. And, you know, with your noble birth and your grandma's grandma was Targaryen, I think we could make this work. And they're like, you don't have to do this. There's crazy risk associated. And he's like, no, I want to go in the history books. We could skip forward to just discuss this all at once. They try to introduce him. It does not go well. That was an all-time, like,
did you think,
oh my God.
I was like, there's no way this is going to work. This guy's getting flamed. But then they did a decent job of like, you know, he puts his head down, kind of shows him like, yeah, hop on. And then it was very Indiana Jones-esque, like people not taking the temple seriously, you know, like I'm just going to walk right, boom, get my head chopped off. As soon as he was like, I've done it. It's like, bro.
Yeah.
Don't count your chickens. Don't consider yourself a dragon rider until you're riding a dragon. You're not even on the dragon yet. You haven't done shit, dude.
Honestly, once they said like his name was Stefan, I was like, we're not having Stefan the Dragon Rider at any point in time.
Well, like, I also did like when they first had the conversation being like, there's many people with our blood everywhere, you know. I was like, oh, we're going to the Sea Snakes bastards. Like it's gonna be those guys. And then when they went with this dude, I was like, oh, all right, maybe like in addition to, like, there's no way that the bastards aren't going to ride these dragons. And I was like, all right, maybe this other guy's going to also ride. And it's like, no. We're just gonna cook this guy to a crisp for you, you know, for the viewers real quick.
Yeah, you need to see. They needed to show like this doesn't work out 99% of the time. Yeah. Which I thought
like the idea of like, you know, you don't pick me, I pick you. So it's like I don't think even if the bastards approached him, I think Sea Monster, what's his name? Sea Snake? Smoke Snake? Smoke.
Right.
Sea Smoke would have been like, no. I'll tell you who's riding me.
I wish they sent out just like a mass email and just brought every bastard in and just a line of them just walking out.
It's very funny if everything is bloodline related, these dudes are doing some fucking. There's a lot of guys out there with Valerian blood.
Yeah, it was. We were hoping there was to be a montage and have like comedic music in the background as you just watch all these fuckers just get roasted. I was hoping we'd even get someone get like eaten, like different ways of getting killed by a dragon.
I thought he was going to get eaten. I didn't know if he was going to get flamed. I thought it was going to just be like a Jurassic Park with the goat, just like boom, gone.
Kev, we said it last week.
Groundhog Day of like Bill Murray killing himself.
Yes, just over and over and over again.
Now, if you're a bastard, I think you got to take the chance of getting a dragon and getting out of whatever shitty life you have. If you're highborn, though, and you pretty much have it made in the shade for your entire life, would you then be like, do I double down and go for like?
Not when there's a war. Listen, when it was 80, if Viserys the Peaceful's on the throne, hell yeah, I got myself a flying taxi. That's all they were for 80 years. But now it's a war. And unless I'm riding Vagar or if you're bringing back, Balerion from the dead, I don't want like a, I'm all set on dragon fighting. We saw how that worked out for Maelys and Aegon. So we're all
the kid that won the F-18 from Pep 16 or whatever from Pepsi. Like you do that when at a time of peace.
Yeah.
But like if there's like the fucking Desert Storm happens, like you're drafted now. You have
the owner of that plane has to go to war now. So yeah.
I also looked this up because I'm fucking sick of that. I'm like, Sir Stefan, I'm thinking George R. R. Martin, he says a lot of his shit is like real life related, based on sports. Obviously, 1-1 was Phil Simms, 11 Giant. So I was looking, Sir Stefan, a guy who like could potentially be like royalty, and turns out he's not what you thought he was. This book was supposed to release in 06, came out in 11. I feel like this is Stephon Marbury dig right here. Stephon Marbury, not the fucking legit king, and just got blamed in New York. You like that, right? Dropping knowledge on the pod.
I mean, if George R. R. Martin put Starberry in the fucking in Game of Thrones, that's altogether the best and the worst Reddit thread I've ever heard in my life, Clem. That's the best and worst theory I've ever heard ever on Thrones. He's New York guy, New York area, Bayonne, New Jersey, New York sports. Maybe thinking, that's so spiteful. If you're writing a fantasy world book about fucking dragons and shit, and you're just gonna take a shit on Stephon Marbury, that would suck.
There's probably
I'm gonna write a Star Wars, where I'm like, and Khabib was the worst.
By the way, clear up for me. So, like, there's fire and blood, and then there's sea and salt. But like, can sea and salt people ride dragons if you're all Valerian, or you have to be like a fire Valerian?
So I'm pretty sure that Valerians can't, based on like what our chat has said. It seems like they can't, but I don't know if Corlys has some like Targaryen already in him. I was under the impression anyone from Old Valyria, any of that.
Yeah, because like Daemon's wife was a dragon rider and she was a Valerian, right?
But she was Rhaenys's daughter.
So she has some Targaryen in it.
Yeah, she had Targaryen.
So,
and I don't know if Corlys already has Targaryen in him, where like
the chat's saying he does.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So Valerian's not enough. It's got to be full blown, or not full blown, but some Targaryen.
Yeah, I think so.
What's like if you get like, what is it, 23andMe or whatever? Like everyone ancestry, everyone has like 3% of like some nationality that they never knew they had, right? I feel like if you're, one of the main cast members, chances are you have some Targaryen way back in the day. At the very least.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
how much Targaryen do you need?
That's the question. And more than Stefan had. I'll tell you,
one drop rule. More than Stefan, I guess. Yeah, whatever he had. Not that.
Well, that also that now explains Corlys having white hair. Like, part of me was like, maybe it's just because he's older with him and his brother. And then like the son now, Alan, that's the reason that he's shaving his head. Like he's got the white hair growing out, which is the clearest. Like,
yeah. I mean, like, his brother's like, what are you doing, dude? Like why are you not claiming this life? But I can't understand it if you're like, I'm just working on this ship. Yeah, living my days. I'm good. I don't need to get mixed up in all this shit.
This guy's like Trent.
Yes,
That's who he reminds me of. He's Trent. You know,
he's wearing khakis and a Carhartt black shirt, and he doesn't want to change his outfit. He doesn't want to level up. It's fine.
He just wants to watch Tiger Woods golf. That's all he wants to break 90, maybe, if it works out.
Honestly, right? I mean, if Joe Biden stepped down and said, "I nominate Trent," he'd be like, "Nope, I'm fucking all upset." That's what this guy's doing.
He's Trent. Yeah. And meanwhile, at Harrenhal, Damon's having another nightmare, and we actually get.
He looks like Joe Biden in this episode. He's Damon was terrible. He's fucking pale and fat, and his eyes are all wrinkly. Harrenhal is no bueno. I don't want to live there.
No,
that place is definitely
yeah. You age in president years in Harrenhal. Yeah. And we get a Viserys cameo, which is really cool. He's talking about the air for a day moment. Did you say air for a day? Watches himself get banished to Runestone once again, but then he can't leave. He can't get out the door. And then Strong opens the door for him. Daemon freaks out. He tries to leave Harrenhal. He sees Alice on his way out. And then they have this. It's a very good scene where they have a little bit of an argument. And then he's asking her for help. And she leaves him with a very mysterious, of course, because she's a friggin' crazy witch. She's like, do nothing now, and in 3 days the winds will shift. Also, I think a lot of people were pointing out the owl that comes onto her arm, kind of like confirmation that she's real. She's a physical being.
Yeah, and also the guy mentions her, right? He says something about her. So that was I was still, I don't know if that had been proven yet, but I was still wondering if she was real. And then he mentions her. I was like, all right, so this whole thing has been real. By the way, nothing better than finding out, when you think you have to go to war and someone's like, you got 3 more days. It's like, oh, okay. I'm gonna go, drink for a couple more days, chill in my castle. I got 72 more hours before shit really ramps up.
Yeah, I whenever I see Viserys too, it's like seeing a beloved retired player. You're like, it was just so good when he was around. Everything was just
more than that. We didn't appreciate it. Yes. It's very Eli Manning. You mentioned it on the Mets podcast, where it's I don't think Viserys got all the love he deserved. And as soon as he was gone, everything went to shit. Very Eli Manning Giants-esque. So it's you appreciate it when you got it.
He was falling apart, and there was a couple sketchy points with wars and crab feeders. But it's Eli threw his interceptions, but he started every game. He won 2 Super Bowls, and it's you just don't know what you have till it's gone. So it's you put him on the Jumbotron, standing ovation for
every time.
Every fucking time. Standing out.
It was awesome seeing him in that scene too, where he tells Daemon removes the air from him. That was probably his most powerful scene. But I was thinking the entire time his eye's gonna fall out. Something that would have been good. I thought they were just gonna have him start falling apart again, and then Damon's not gonna kill him, and we're just gonna have to watch this guy melt again.
By the way, I didn't get a chance to. I wasn't on last week. Going down on your mom is just fucking bananas. They just find new ways to make your jaw drop. Kissing your mom's one thing, banging your mom's another thing, eating your mom out is fucking crazy, dude.
They're gonna recreate the scene from Girls next.
I feel like every week I write a blog. I'm like, George R. R. Martin has done the most fucked up thing I think I've ever seen on TV, and it's just oh, he slit a baby's throat. Now we have. It's like I said. We've learned to come to grips with incest. It's it's mouth stuff, and then it's your mom. It's that is just 2 bridges too far, let alone one more. So I was very triggered by all that. Not cool.
But you know what? She did say something in that episode that I thought was very interesting when she just said, she's like, if you were only born first, and there's got to be so much of that goes through your head when you were in even regular monarchy, not in fantasy land, where it's if I just came, a couple years earlier instead of this guy, my whole life would be different, for better or worse.
And our boy Aegon too. I'm telling you right now, his genes. Vizzy wasn't a recoverer. Aegon's not getting any better.
No,
his current state is as good as he's going to get.
He's not a fighter like that. No, it's not happening.
His genes are falling apart after one wash. We get Ulf the White again. We see there's not enough food for all the small folk, and Laris informs Aemon that the small folk are getting fed up with this. They're really getting restless because there's just not enough food to go around, but they have sheep coming in for the dragons. So he tells him, get in touch with Otto Hightower, because Laris is kind of I think you need a hand. And he's like, that's crazy. I don't like people that are, you know, all about that. But all right, I agree with you. He's like, oh, sir, never in a million years did I think you would pick me. And he's like, well, I didn't. Get in touch with Otto.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bad.
Awesome.
And the Grand Meister comes in and he tells him like Aegon's probably going to live at this point.
Yeah, I mean the Aegon. I thought Aemon was gonna axe him like on the spot. You got to tie up your loose ends. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like he made it pretty clear to him, but it's like I thought that was gonna be pillow over the face. See you later, because
I sort of did too.
what
He might have
what-
saved
you know,
himself by being like, I remember nothing.
Well, yeah. That, so I mean,
Yeah,
you know, you imagine that you wake up and you got to put the pieces of the puzzle together real quick to be like, oh shit, yeah, I'm still here. You were trying to murder me. I didn't see nothing. We're all good.
Yeah, I was
But-
drunk. I was drunk. I don't remember.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't even think it would matter if like Aemond is so like he doesn't give a fuck right now. I don't even think like I'm surprised he wouldn't be like, yeah, I tried to murder him. You know, like, and watch this. Boom, I just did. And I don't think anybody would right now. I think Aemond can do whatever he wants and no one would stop him.
No, because like, what are they going to tell the realm? Like, this happened. You're just going to say like he quietly died.
Right.
his
And now
wounds,
hail
like-
the new king. Like,
Yeah, like you can't just run around being like, oh, and now we have infighting in here. That's the small folk will storm the gate.
no, and he's got
It's
biggest dragon.
Yeah.
He's a very able warrior. It's like I'm surprised he's even entertaining keeping this little vegetable around.
You know what I compare this to? Some of this makes sense. So this is a siblings thing too. I think Aegon's like a good dude, but he kind of like tortured his brother a little, right? I think Aegon's kind of like Buzz McAllister. He's the older brother, kind of like gave it to him. And then like after you find out Kevin is a sick, twisted fuck who set these booby traps to basically like torture two criminals. Like if Buzz got into a car accident and like Kevin like visited the hospital, he'd be like, oh fuck, I got the psycho alone with me right now, right?
Yeah.
And he's gonna like yeah.
Go to
But what do
sleep.
you remember, Buzz? Remember that Christmas pageant that we did? No, I don't remember that, Kevin. I don't remember anything. I don't remember the whole family laughing at you.
Did you call me a trout sniffer ever? Nope, never did that. No trout.
Did they have cheese pizza in this hospital, Buzz? Because I love cheese pizza. Remember you ate the whole one just so I couldn't have any? No, I don't remember. So he's clearly like pissing down his leg and he's just trying not to like basically get murdered by his brother who is dying for that throne right now. He wants
Now can I get a book update? Like in the books, is Aegon alive and well? Is he alive and like an invalid? Is there a fight between those two guys, or is it Aemon took over the throne?
I think at this point where we are in the books, it's his story's the same to my knowledge.
Minus some lesbians.
Yeah. They just
Yeah,
wanted
the
to
chat
sprinkle
saying
that
it's
one in.
book accurate so far.
Okay.
I loved this scene where one of the old, I forget his name again, but one of the old council members is walking Rhaenyra down the hall and he's just fucking nagging like he always is. And she turns around and smacks him right upside the head. And she said, "It is my fault you have forgotten to fear me." And it's such a great line and realization where it's like, yeah, you need to be a ruler now. And the White Worm tells Rhaenyra like, oh, the small folk are listening. We're helping. But even later on with Jace, when he comes to talk, she's like, they keep bringing up Daemon. Like they think we need him to rule. I need them to view me as not a dictator, but a ruler at least. And for them to have a little bit of fear. It reminds me of like when the work ethic is down at Barstool and Dave will show up at the New York office.
Just
and
gonna
it's
say,
like, let's remind
Dave
everybody.
walking around the Chicago office and Nikki Smokes is watching TV. What?
Go to Edmonton.
T-shirts. Yeah, but I as powerful as these chicks are, and as much as I always say the show is about the two princesses, at the end of the day, these people are going to want to hear about Daemon. They want Daemon. Daemon's a dragon rider. He's a warrior. He's been to battle. You know, if you're losing a civil war and Daemon's basically a free agent kind of out there, it's like we need him back on the squad. We need him back. You know, so
I have to admit, when she smacked him, I said, yes. I literally said, yes. I screamed it. And I did say, I said, I wish she kind of like, I don't know about like cut his tongue, but I was hoping she got something more. But then when her son was like, everyone in the castle's talking about it, I'm like, all right, the message was made. It wasn't just to him. It was so everyone else could see, just like, don't fuck with me right now. And when she was looking at swords later, I was like, is she going to cut this fucking guy's head off to really make a point?
She's not to be fucked with. She is definitely the definition of like, don't take my kindness for weakness. Like, she's a bad bitch, and she's done as much as she possibly can to keep the peace. And I think she's also been like she has been like kind to a fault, but she'll fuck your shit up, man.
Yeah.
My queen. That scene her with a sword for the first time, I was like, that fit her so well walking around. I'm like, we're definitely getting her like swinging on someone at some point.
Awesome.
I do wish like instead of a slap, she just stuck the guy. Like, just give him one clean one.
Just a quick shank.
I just meant a punch. Like, just one.
I thought you
meant, prison shank. Yeah.
Maybe like a good ball grab. Like, just grabs the balls and it's like, what the fuck did you say to me? What the fuck did you say?
And then Reyna realizes after seeing a bunch of burnt sheep in the Vale that, hey, the Vale's been lying to us. They have a fucking dragon, a wild dragon at that. And she confronts the lady about it. And she's like, what the fuck? And the lady, I don't even know what this means. She's like, I'm just going to send you along your way with a gay abandon.
Yo, is everybody from the Vale, like, I think of the Vale as like the weirdos from Appalachia. Like, they're like inbred freaks, like the strangers. Like, I just think of, you know, the Robin Aaron kid sucking on his mom's tit, and Lady Stark's sister was all weird, and now this
they're the McPoyles.
Yes,
they're the McPoyles.
Yes.
That's exactly it. The McPoyles were just like, the fuck is wrong with the Vale? They're drinking milk and fucking each other and stuff. I was like, what is happening in the Vale? There's never been anyone from the Vale. I guess the one time the Knights from the Vale and Battle of the Bastards, that was awesome. But any individuals from the Vale, I'm like, you guys are freaks.
Yeah, they're weird.
I kind of fuck with them though. Like I fuck with the Vale. I fuck with the Vale as it looks cool. We said it. We hope we get more of the Vale, but it just feels it feels important. I feel like the McPoyles are important in the Always Sunny ecosphere. Somehow I don't think they have money, and it's like this is the same kind of thing. It's like the Vale needs to be like you have to have the Vale on your side. For some reason they keep telling me that. So
the Vale has the Eerie, right? That's and that's you know that's one of my favorite lines of the whole fucking series. Bronn being, give me 12 guys and some like 12 guys and some ropes and I'll impregnate the bitch. So good. So good.
And that's, they say it's impregnable other than by dragons. It's like, well, unfortunately for you guys, this is the House of the Dragon. There's like 1,000 of those things right now. So the Vale's kind of in trouble right now. If that's the one thing that could take them down.
It's also crazy. Like, how is this the first time we're just hearing about a wild dragon flying around?
Well,
like,
so
anywhere.
Also, the whole idea, like, they didn't try this idea yet of finding other people to ride the fucking dragons. Like, like that's step one of like, we have a bunch of dragons, but not riders. Let's go find riders. So they kind of downplay how many wild dragons there are. And like, you never ever see them, you know, it's like, so there's dragons who are hanging out in castles ready for battle. And then there are just dragons who are like eating wild goats and just fucking around out there, like, you know, burning up things like street kids, just like throwing rocks at cars. It's like, I'm gonna burn this goat, you know? Yeah.
Also, shout out that little baby dragon. That shit was cute as fuck. I thought it was Moondancer.
All of a sudden, all of a sudden you like the baby dragon.
No, Robbie, yours is the little person dragon. Very different than a baby dragon. Two very different things. Both love them both. Oh, that girl, though, I think her name's like, what's her name? Rhaenyra, or the girl?
Reyna.
The girl who's in the Vale. She doesn't have a dragon, right? So that could hypothetically be her dragon if, you know, doesn't burn her to a crisp or she doesn't go on the gay boat.
Yeah, that's what she
they abandoned.
She's tried all three or I think all the dragons that are at Dragonstone, and it was close call every single time. I think they said she almost died. So they're like, we're not going to test her with these again. They clearly don't fuck with her.
She's fucking the girl from Encanto with the glasses that can't get any of the superpowers. Right? And she get all the she's in charge of all the kids. It's basically the same story.
Rhaenyra's like, we don't talk about Daemon.
We don't talk about Daemon. No.
Encanto is a tough movie when you got kids and they're like, why doesn't she have a gift? And it's like, I don't fucking know, man. This is very sad. Like, sing the Bruno song and let's get out of here. Because you know what? Some kids don't have special gifts. Move on. I don't know.
You're gonna meet a lot of them. Just move on.
Right.
This is where we get the Alan and Adam scene where Alan is telling Adam, stop, wasting what could, or, this could be ours, could be yours, whatever. And Alan is like, stop wasting your time, with something that'll never happen. And then Jace and Rhaenyra have their conversation where she wants everyone to stop bringing up Damon's name, but the White Worm interrupts. She says, the gift has been sent. The gift we see is just tons of food for the small folk. And it is. They put their flag on it. It's like when someone caters the office, puts their fucking restaurant on it. Here's our little social media handle.
Credit for this shit. Yeah.
Exactly. T-shirts and people
love
it.
Yeah. Yeah. They got the hats. They got the T-shirts, all of it.
That scene, to me, as good of a battle scene where like ships appear out of the mist to fight a war, when we see all them floating in, where it's like, oh shit, they fed these motherfuckers. That is that's how you win wars. That's how you start revolutions. That's how you get people on your side. And I love the fact, like, everybody who's highborn, anybody who's already in royalty, like, they don't know shit about shit. They're not in the streets. They're not with the people. And it's always, the Varys's and Littlefingers and the White Worms who are like, I know what's going on with the thousands of people. So, like, let me run this shit. That was so smart. I loved it.
Every single week in my notes, I say, let White Worm cook. Just let her cook.
Yeah.
You know what she does? College football 25's out. Rhaenyra is cruiting right now. She's common, folks, but she's cruiting, and she's fucking. That's a W so far.
But like that's where it sucks. Where it's like, I guess we're just gonna almost like reduce her to like this like love interest now. Like I'm thinking of her as like she should be the hand. She is like a battle. She should be planning this war. She should be in the High Council. And now we're just gonna turn it into like a basically like Kristen Cole and Alicent love scenes. It's like fuck.
I will say this: if you think about all the whispers we've had between Varys, Littlefinger, Clubfoot, and her, there's all like some weird, or I shouldn't say weird, different sexual stuff.
They're all perverts. Yeah.
Varys was I think he was just straight up gay.
All
He didn't have any balls, but they kind of alluded to that, like if he could love, he would probably love a man. Littlefinger, that guy's been in. He doesn't see gender at all. That guy's fucking anything, right?
He
and
just
Clubfoot, I don't want to know what Clubfoot gets into.
Littlefinger was just in love with Catelyn Stark and like wanted to fucking kill everyone.
That's true.
Remember when Littlefinger was making that girl get back to work after they killed the baby? They were killing all the bastards, and she was like, "Yeah, they killed the baby in front of me." And he was like, "Cool story. Start sucking dick again. Let's go." Like,
also, we had someone on TikTok. Maddie just said Rhaenyra is literally sending out PR boxes.
Yeah.
We had someone in the chat
tag me.
They did the math of Corlys being Targaryen. They said since Corlys, shout out G Warrior 56. He said since Corlys is the son of Daemon Valerian, who is the brother of presumably 12.5% Targaryen Alyssa Valerian, Corlys is most likely 6.25% Targaryen.
And Alyssa we know as Daemonator Box last week. So
yes,
people are trying to keep track at home.
I'm going to say 5% is the threshold for Targaryen.
Sounds like 5%.
It's a nice round number, right? Like that works.
Then we get the Gwaine and Alicent scene. Gwaine's kind of giving her the cold shoulder, looking at Kristen Cole the whole time. We learn a little bit more about Gwaine's upbringing, and then she's asking him about how Darren's doing.
I forgot about all her other kids.
Darian. Yeah. And
She
the chat was going crazy over this. Like they were throwing parades in the street over the mention of this guy.
Is he something important?
I think so.
I've heard whispers basically through our chat, and like I've seen some comments that like Darren is a dude. Like
people love him.
Yeah, and they did mention it either on, I think on the preview for next episode. They said his dragon is taking wing. He does have a dragon as well because he is Targaryen.
Master of Whispers, Daemon the Daring, Daemon the Good. Only one that isn't a psychopath. He's just the man. Let's go. Tessarion is his dragon's name. All right, I'm in.
I've heard his dragon is like blue too, or something like baby blue. Which will look fucking awesome.
But he's a green, right? He's a green.
He is a green.
Okay.
Oh, I thought he was a black. No, I guess it makes sense if Alicent's asking him.
Oh, dude, his dragon is like blue.
Does he got like the Carolina?
No.
Carolina blue? Carolina.
It's like a purpley blue. Like it's a dark, deep blue. I'll share my screen. How do I do that? Someone else share the screen because I'm not good at this shit. If you just Google Tessarian, it's like.
Now, I have to say this. The last time I had a character built up for me through the roof was Euron Greyjoy, and they fucking botched it. Now, that's Benioff and Weiss era, so I will not go in with the same expectations here, but I was so excited for Euron Greyjoy, and then he just fucking stunk.
Someone's saying, does Darren equals Ned Stark cool? If you're telling me we're about to get a Ned Stark character in the penultimate is about to be fucking awesome.
I feel like we're not getting him till next year. I feel like they're dangling that carrot right now based on like, I could see us meeting him maybe in the finale.
Also, what's 10 and 6? Is that 16 or is that 10 and 6 months?
Yeah, that's 16.
Okay.
So that's the series.
Look at this.
What the fuck?
Fucking awesome. The
That
blue
thing is
queen.
That looks like a created dragon, like that you do. You're like that's not what a real dragon looks like, but it looks.
Does he spit blue fire?
It looks like it.
That's
it looks
really
like it does.
That's what's up. Now, are you gonna fuck around and make me like the greens? Because if I mean, I'm so firmly Team Black and Team Rhaenyra, but if you're telling me that all of a sudden a non-psychopath Alicent Targaryen is going to show up, like, who am I going to root for? What am I going to do?
My one question, like
Pokemon ass dragon. That does look a little Pokemon. Yeah.
I will say, I don't know if maybe that page that we just showed. I did just notice like that's the red and black symbols by it. So maybe I don't know. I don't know how Darren levels out, but like I also don't know if that Wikipedia page differentiates between green.
You never know.
Might just be the blanket Targaryen.
Here's a question for you. Can Daemon? Where are you guys at on Daemon?
I'm done with the dreams.
The dreams, the dream house
has been good though. I like the dream
good, but
they did. It's like we get it. I do understand that, but I do think they were all like pretty well done. Where you like see what's tormenting him and torturing him. But like, if he were to just be like, "I'm back. I got an army. I'm riding for you, Rhaenyra," would you be like, "Okay, he's cool again. He's a good guy again," or are you guys not even out on him being? I was pretty firmly like, this guy's a fucking piece of shit. And like he's kind of like an anti-hero, but now you're just like a piece of shit. But if he just like swoops in at the right moment, I'll probably be back in on him.
Yeah, like last week we talked about it, and we're like, all right, these dreams are getting bad. I equate his dreams, which it's better than Arya in the Face's house because the dreams are cooler than just her like fighting with a broom. But at the same point, it's like, all right, I need something like concrete to happen. Now, Alex Rivers got some shit rolling this week through a dream or whatever it was. So I'm like, okay, that's better. But I'm just getting sick of him being stuck in the same spot. So
what is
my big problem with him though?
With your eye are you taped over it? Okay, unbelievable. That's got to be driving you insane. The fact that we're like 40 minutes in and you're still just doing that. Tip of the cap, sir.
Reading my notes, for some reason I put him on the other side. I should have just put him on the side that I could see, but I work for Barstool. I really don't have a very fun screen. I had to just turn the font bigger so I could actually read what I was saying. Our biggest beef with Daemon, other than again the funhouse just pickling him, is he's starting to be like, I'm the rightful king. Fuck Rhaenyra. Yeah, I'm hoping like Vizzy in the dreams is like, dude, you already fucked me over. Don't fuck over my daughter. Just be good to her. So I am on the record. If he turns on Rhaenyra, he's out of the circle of trust, and Nick's with me too. We are Daemon since day one, but we're in era before anybody else.
Yeah, Queen, you can't. He has like a chance at redemption, and if he doesn't take it, he's out in my book. It's like all this king talk. When the guy was like, "You're the king's consort," and he was like, "I'm the king." It's like
that guy's the best.
Yeah, he's awesome. Like the way he delivers his lines are very funny.
We're talking about Simon Strong?
Simon, yeah.
I love that guy. I was wondering if everyone else loved I just said tonight to my wife, I'm like, I think I love this guy.
The fact that his parents are the same family is like, boy.
Yeah. When he's got the knife to his throat this episode, and he's just like, everybody calm down. Yeah. And then he shushes Daemon. When he shushes Daemon, I lost it. That
was he's like Glenny Balls almost, he's just like a lovable guy.
Yes.
Winnie the Pooh, this shit.
We get Helena, her creepy ass is just looking at bugs, trying to make him sing or something. And Allison walks in. She's like, do you want to come light a candle for Aegon? You know, for all the lost souls. And then we see there's a frenzy, including Hugh Hammer out in the streets over the food. They're like, oh my God, they sent food. The food's coming in, and a full-on riot breaks out in the streets. And the girls leave at the exact moment it breaks out. So the Kingsguard freaks out. They chop a fucking arm off, Obi-Wan style.
Awesome. When that guy goes, ah,
yeah. And then she's like, sheath your swords, you know, screaming at all of them. But in that moment, it's like they're being overwhelmed. I don't even know if that was the right command. It is for the look of everything, but the way they got surrounded was just scary. It was almost zombie-like. And then
listen, I'll sheath my sword for PR, but once they are literally taking me down and about to tear me apart, I'm swinging my motherfucking sword.
Yeah,
like, you're to safety in your wagon. I'm swiping. Like, get the fuck away from me. I thought that was that really conveyed a lot of like the frenzy vibe to me. I was like, oh boy, this is not good. Helena being like up against the wall
with the spikes on it and shit. Like I was like, oh no.
Yeah, that was very good. And then I don't know if you could hear it, but it was definitely a good moment for team subtitles when she gets in the wagon. She's looking through like the slits of the windows, and you just hear like, "Hail Queen Rhaenyra! Hail Queen Rhaenyra!" So like this, you know, she knows the people are turning.
The whole time I'm fucking in my own brain turning into a pretzel because I'm like, Helena just said one of the crickets stopped chirping. What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
That means some shit's about to go down.
Right.
If someone's losing a voice or someone's losing a life. But something out of the 3 crickets, does that mean one of her like brother or sister or her? What is it? Aegon, Aemond, or her? Or like who's the cricket? And why is it going to stop chirping? There's something fucking up.
Good line.
She spoiled it again.
I think Ryan Condal has done a great job at like all of season 1. We got all of her little crazy riddles that like now we're just paying attention to everything she says. And I think this time it was just like a cricket died. And like,
I'm Pepe Sylvia right now. I'm like, what does that cricket mean?
Like if he never does it again, it would be so funny because everything this girl says, we're just pulling apart. And it's like, no, this time it was just a cricket that died. Like it's so good.
By the way, I want to give a quick shout out to what's her name? Olivia Cook is the actress for Allison. Yeah. I don't know how they did it. I'm hoping it was just real, where she just took like a fish to the face. But they threw that fish at her, whatever prop it was, like it like hit her and it got all sloppy and shit. And I hope that she was just like, when we say action, just fucking rock me with that thing.
That was definitely real. I don't think they would have like the money. They got to save the money for the dragons. They're gonna throw
love it.
Larys goes and talks to Aegon. He's in a weird position with what just transpired with Aegon or Aemond and the hand and everything in that conversation. So he goes and starts buttering the king up. He's like, you're a legend already. You survived fire. You're the fucking man. But listen, you're never going to run again. And then he sort of tells him what it's like to be a freak. He's like, yeah, they looked at me. My foot was twisted every which way. They thought it was sorcery. Use it to your advantage, though. He says people will underestimate you at this point. Use it to your advantage. And I hope you know your life is in danger with your brother here in command and everything. And Aegon's just like, help. That will be a very interesting relationship here. Well, he, from bed, could use Larys to his advantage.
I'm also thinking quite a big difference from being a completely mangled paraplegic and you have like a twisted foot. I mean, you're pigeon-toed. Let's relax, you know? I took that to me, like, I thought he was almost being like, put me out of my misery. Like, I'm so you think he's going to be still like trying to vie for power and like use Larys?
I sort of think so. Yeah.
Because I was thinking it was like, he looks just like so shook and done to me that it was like, you know, like everything. Yeah, I am in danger and I am like a fucking, you know, cripple. And so, I mean, that I didn't even consider that he could still be like a major power player in his condition, but we'll see.
I'm trying to figure out like the power scheme that's going on in this house right now. And I'm thinking Aegon was the one who was like, listen, my dad did use for whispers. You're my whisper guy. And I thought Larys would just jump to the next guy, but it seems like Aemond isn't really cool with him. Aemond's all on Christian Cooks. Cole's ass right now, right?
Yeah,
They're planning out their battles. So it seems like Laris is taking a back seat. Laris obviously doesn't want a back seat. So I think he's going to be with Aegon. Aegon needs him to survive, let alone like stay in power. So that could be like a really good dynamic. And then Aemon's just going to, I have the biggest dragon. I'm a great knight. He wants to clearly kill Daemon. So I think the Laris Aegon tag team, it's a fucking ragtag tag team. But I mean, Bob, like who's a tag team that we've seen that's just like two little guys that somehow overcame all obstacles to like get the belt? That's what I'm looking at them as.
I mean, a modern example would be like London and Kendrick. The younger viewers will like that one, I think. But I don't know for old school fans, too younger.
The Bushwhackers, they're both like a little slow, a little off.
Yeah, I was going to say it could be like the Hardy Boys.
Hardy Boys, okay.
Or it could be like the Dudleys if Spike was one of them.
Yes, yes.
How about Kristen Cole's bitch ass being totally neutered the last few episodes after that battle, like going from tough talk and I'm the hand and I'm the hero, I'm fucking the queen, and now he is just like, I watched everybody die. This sucks.
Yeah,
he's not him.
Bitch.
Everyone was calling him the Kingmaker, which is like the highest to just now. He's like, it's dragons. They're scary. I'm out.
Yeah. Like, what'd you think, bro? What'd you think was going to happen? Like, Dragon War was going to be like easy?
Yeah, we flew into a dragon war and you're like confused about why there are dragons here. Like,
yeah. He's like, we gave the war to the dragons and now we're fucked. It's like, no fucking kidding. That's why everyone said, like, don't bring the dragons in. It's going to be crazy.
I also thought that Aegon was cooked because when Clubfoot was like, don't give him any more Toradol. I'm like, you got to give him Toradol right now. He's trying to get back in the game. Just give him the painkillers. But he was like, it clouds your brain. So if they want to kill him, they can just kill him like that. He's like the most like vulnerable person in the game. So I feel like, if, in all honesty, like obviously I'd rather have Vagar and all Aemon's like strength, but having the Clubfoot on your side is a pretty good like number 2 on the list. I feel like that guy can make shit happen.
And then we get another Daemon nightmare. He's watching Viserys mourn the loss of his wife. Strong wakes him up again, and he has the news that Lord Grover is finally dead. So Oscar Tully is now paramount of the Riverlands. We also then get the Sea Smoke scene where Sea Smoke chases down Adam into the woods, and as we mentioned before, the dragon chooses him. Badass, and I thought the CGI looked great. Like it usually does in Thrones. It's very rare for me to see a scene and be like, oh, that looks off. But it was such a close-up shot of the dragon's face that looked so good in the daytime too, in the bright lighting. I was really impressed with that.
Yeah, that was cool. That was a very cool way to end it.
This is my last ridiculous analogy of the night. So there's Stefan. When he went up to the dragon, it was almost like in Ghostbusters when the chick goes there or whatever, goes, are you a god? And he's like, no. And he just gets fucking torched. That's what that was like. This one felt like Rick Moranis is getting chased by the dog and he's at the tavern on the green and the dog just fucking like whoofs him down. And I was like, so there's 2 ways to recruit a dragon. And clearly it's like the dragon has to want you more than anything. So I got some serious Ghostbuster vibes.
Now, but like, so he is gonna ride in and be like you still technically are the only one who knows that you've been chosen by this dragon, right? Yeah. So you kind of like can utilize this as you want. Like, would you ride in like almost like secret style, like when they need you the most, or are you gonna go right to the castle right now and be like, yo, queen, I got a dragon? Like, you got some decisions to make on how you want to play your cards right now.
And is he cool with his dad, who's clearly on that side already?
Right.
He seemed to have some issues.
I mean, hey, listen, for all we know, we could have, like a Jerry Springer situation. I'm going with the Greens. Fuck you, Dad. Yeah. You treated me like a bastard. I don't think that's what's going to happen. But just the point being that, like, you don't really know how this is going to play out with a new Dragon Rider.
Couldn't Corliss, when he was arguing with his kid, be like, you came out of my balls, all right? You're doing what I tell you to do. You're my fucking son. Deal with it, bro.
If it's me, I'm going right to the queen.
He's going right to the queen.
I'm going around. I'm pulling up on the castle like I'm in a low rider. I'm fucking bouncing on the dragon, honking the horn, blasting the music.
I think I'm laying in the cut. I'm watching the battle. I'm going to see who is going to win this shit before I pick my side.
That might be smart.
You join Team Black and like they're getting fucked up. It's like, well, I chose poorly. But like nobody knows him really, right? I mean, Corliss knows, but like it's not like Rhaenyra is going to be like, somebody go get me Adam and Alla or whatever the fuck his name is.
I mean, what can you do? I feel like if I were him, the first thing that would cross my mind, it's like, you've been a bastard your whole life working on a boat. what money can we make with this dragon? Like,
yeah, that's what I mean. It's almost more like that would be the first thing you think of.
Yeah.
Not I'm gonna go to war. It's like,
yeah,
I got a fucking dragon. Let's get rich.
go to ASOS and just like
Yeah.
clean up. Like, be like,
Yeah.
look, I brought a dragon.
Sell a
here.
photo op with the dragon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I'd be like a Times Square fucking carnival act. You know, take a picture of my dragon. By the way,
then the final
Hugh the Hammer scene where he like beat that dude up and stole his groceries, I thought was I don't give a shit about Hugh the Hammer yet, but I've been told that he's the man. So I'm like waiting for him to develop, and then seeing him like literally like steal a bag of groceries from an old person is like the lowest thing you can do. I know he's like desperate and shit, but I thought that was a weird shift where it was like I thought he was going to be this hero, and he was like, "Give me all that lettuce."
Oh, Kev, you weren't on last week. We bought every ounce of Hugh stock we could.
Yeah.
If you want in on us too, this is like Hugh the Hammer is like Dogecoin at this point. I've been buying as much. I don't know how much it
But today,
costs.
I mean, then
It took a little
in my
dip.
book,
It took a
dip.
dip.
Yeah, you took a
Tip
dip
a tip.
today.
Buy the tip.
Yeah,
If I was
got a
Yeah.
daughter, you know, he needs to make sure she's got food on the table. He's looking out for the little one.
Yo, his
Buy
bitch.
the Hugh
His
Hammer
daughter
tip.
was gray, right? That's the one with the gray daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta buy the dip.
Gray, like gray,
yeah.
gray. She looked bad.
But so
Somebody-
wait, I mean, I'm really thinking that they would not have that scene unless that's a little like telling that he's not a good guy. You don't have a good guy slug somebody and steal their fucking lunch.
Is it that, or is it like I'll do anything to make sure my daughter survives?
Yeah, that's.
But I think there's a different, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know. They were trying to convey that. I don't
Yeah.
think they did that. I think that
Yeah, I
that
see what
conveyed
you're
more of
saying.
like I will kill like innocent people if I have to. I get that you're desperate, but I don't know. That was like maybe
Yeah.
he was not.
I could see it being more as he's like opportunistic about like helping his family. So
Yeah.
if Team Black goes to him, it's like, hey, make that shit for us. He's gonna be like, well, can you pay? Because they can't pay, and he may not be like, I believe in Queen Rhaenyra. He's just gonna be like, I need the money. Like, give me the money.
That was a tough scene when he's like, what do you say? He was like, would you have me be like a beggar? And she was like, we're already beggars, dude. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, yikes, that's not good.
One thing
Yeah.
in that scene too that stuck out to me, all the people running around with the Team Black flags. That's the easiest way to die. Like,
It is.
Yeah.
like I would grab all the food.
You're
but I
marking
would
yourself
not-
an enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would also I would sabotage this shit. I would do fucked up stuff and just leave a green flag around. You know what I mean? I'd be
Yeah.
doing that left and right.
True. Yeah.
I'd be like, you know, I go kill a baby and be like, green.
Yeah.
Then we get the
Awesome.
final scene with the White Worm. She tries to reassure Rhaenyra when she's having doubts about Daemon and what he thinks and if he's even still on their team. And she gives Rhaenyra a ton about her life and her inability to have children, a really like dark, low, moment for her. Puts all her faith in Rhaenyra as queen. They hug for a little too long.
Dude.
They make out. We've kind of discussed that.
Again,
Not
it was
good.
so far off my radar that as soon as they hugged and she started to like neck her, I was like, no,
Yeah.
no fucking way they're about to do that. Like it wasn't even entering my mind. And then I was like, yup, they're gonna do it. They fucking did it. They fucking did it. I was screaming at my TV like an old boomer, being like, this fucking Netflix going woke. This is ridiculous.
I was more along for the ride, but also super like I wasn't like no, but I was like, what?
Yeah, that can't.
More,
There can't be anybody. I don't even think if you're like a LGBTQ advocate, you're like loving that storyline. It's just like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
It was
It could
so-
get interesting with like Damon coming back and finding out like, like they're teamed up now. Like
Yeah,
could get interesting. I don't
Yeah.
then they get interrupted by the news that Sea-Smoke's got a new rider.
This was so out of left field. I made the joke when she started going to hug her. I was like, they're gonna make out, and my girlfriend-
right. It's
My girlfriend was like, "Shut up!"
It's-
And then I was like, "They did it!" Like,
yeah, that like if that's not, I don't even know what to think now because I'm like, I hope it's just a one and done thing, but then that's even stupider that it's like, hey, remember that time you did that scene and it never came back up again? But
Yeah.
I also don't want it to come back up again, so I'd rather it be that stupid than they're just
maybe
try
it
to-
was like they were both at this low, vulnerable.
Yeah,
emotional
okay, I'll
state.
take
Like,
that.
maybe you could do. Yeah.
You know, Ryan Condal, whoever. Let's go with that one for the future. They were just both so grieving that they started fucking making out, and we never talk about this again.
I also like.
I was the video game meme on the chair. I went up on my chair when I was like, "Oh, this is what we're going with here, huh?" However, I don't like that it's. I thought it was in the books. I thought this is all part of the story. If George comes out tomorrow, it's like I don't know where they're going. I fought it tooth and nail. Then I'm going to get concerned about this because I feel like we've been pretty good to the source material, and this just seems like a completely I think you said, Kev, it's either like a one-off, which makes it even weirder, or an unnecessary storyline that now then again, everyone hated the what's it called? Last of Us, right? With Nick Offerman, that whole episode. That episode
was amazing. That was amazing.
So I mean, if we get one of those there, that'd be sweet.
Some cool shit with it, but like it just we see what happens when you stray away from George R.R. Martin and you do Game of Thrones. So let's not fucking do that, you know? So unless George was like, oh, I really, one of my biggest regrets was that I didn't have these two be lovers and like, I have this vision for it. Let's do it this way. Then like, cool. Otherwise it seems like it was just jammed in there either for woke purposes or just like, we need to, you know, switch it up purposes or whatever the reasoning is. I think it's stupid.
I also like the most jarring part of this scene that like, came out of left field when she starts telling her backstory. They were just talking about war, then suddenly like the white worm's just like, my father took me, and I was like,
yeah, it's like, whoa,
I'm
we're
like,
not
like
kids anymore. Like,
go back to the other thing. Go back to the other thing. What's going on?
Yeah.
And then like it just kept taking left turns. I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
George R.R., man, he's undefeated with it. He will make you gasp and guffaw every single week.
Right. I mean, he's done. There's been other like gay characters where it just made sense, and it was like and romances that made sense. This one just doesn't seem to make sense to me. So we'll see what happens. But penultimate, baby,
penultimate next week. That's huge.
Does that scene somehow lend itself to give out the LVP to someone involved in that scene? The writers, the White Worm.
I would give. I'm right now I'm down on Hugh the Hammer for stealing that bag of groceries, so I would go LVP with that, or the writers who came up with that final scene. That was just so stupid.
That's fair. Any you guys have any other piece?
From an execution point of view, pun intended, Sir Darklin's got to get an LVP because he just he just did not really.
I was gonna say those were Aegon's boys that got fucking killed, right?
Were they the guys who were?
I think that was his drinking buddies that like.
Oh yeah,
ready to take on a whole town.
What about the guy who got smacked?
Oh yeah,
I think he's a decent LVP. He got the whole castle talking about him, just getting embarrassed. I would love to know what they're saying too. Like, oh, did you fucking hear the queen fucking smacked the shit out of him?
You got bitch slapped.
Honestly, Damon's in the running. Damon, like receiving votes, is Damon again for just he had nothing to do with the shit that went down with the Tullys. He just happened to be there. He didn't leave in those 3 days, but other than that, like he did nothing. He had a game.
Yeah, and so wait, they mentioned that like cloud cover is coming or whatever, and I think that's what she was talking about with like the in 3 days the winds are going to change. So I feel like now is the time you can attack or you can use your dragons or whatever's about to go down. So I feel like that should be where we kick off the penultimate. Which
was that? Do you think that's what it was? I thought the winds were going to change. She was just saying like Grover Tully's about.
Well, so that's what
I'm going to go kill his ass.
Literal thing, if it's a figurative thing, but it's like a whatever it is. I feel like it's all going to coincide at the same time. It's like it's go time.
Which takes you to my MVP. I'm giving it to Alice Rivers here. You may not be thinking of someone with a big sword, big dragon. I'm giving it to the little owl, which, by the way, owls are such fucking cool birds. I fucking love owls. And she just goes in, takes care of Grover Tully. That old man was fucking backing up this fucking Team Black war machine for so long. He's dead. She probably slit his throat, put the fucking pillow over his head, and we're ready to cook now because we have little Oscar, which I love that it's Grover and Oscar, and they're all Sesame Street characters with the television. I love that George R.R. Martin does that shit.
I'm going to say MVP for Adam because that guy got a dragon this week. That's huge. He hit one home run in this week, but he might have been 1 for 6, but it was a huge home run for us. Yeah,
I was going to say that to me, the most obvious MVP was White Worm with the food was brilliant, but obtaining a dragon is the most important thing you can do in this realm. So, you know, you make a lot of sense.
And shout out to ES earlier when we were trying to see like who he is, waiting to see who's winning the war. They're like, he's basically RFK Jr. He's just like, which way am I going to go here?
Yeah. I'll figure this out later. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got to go with Adam too. Like I'm trying to think of anybody else that came up like really hot this episode. I feel like everyone.
Eamon as a bat, you know, he's just like he's taking the fucking. He's taking control.
He is. I think though, when he heard his brother woke up, he was like, "Oh shit!" Oh, how awake we talking?
Yeah, right.
Also, a sneaky LVP. Do we think like? Is there a chance that Laris killed Otto? Like,
yeah, they were heavy talking. No auto response.
Otto, they were like, we reached out to Otto. We haven't heard. Allison is asking about it. That would be fucked. I hope not. I hope we get more.
Otto's a great character.
I want more Otto, but like Laris is like, you're gonna pick somebody above me. Oh, I'll get word to him. Don't worry. Fucking burn to death or some shit.
Yeah.
Always burning somebody alive.
I hope not. Yeah. All right, that was House of the Dragon Season 2, Episode 6. We've got the penultimate next week. If you know Thrones, you know the penultimates are always wild. Hopefully they continue the trend with this one. And we'll see you same bat time, same bat channel, right here on the My Mom's Basement channel for Game of Stools next week. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you then.
I'm going to bed.